So sorry, guys. We're back in the room. So sorry. My Wi-Fi is rubbish. Sorry, Harriet. Where's Harriet? Is she here? Oh, well, at least we've got more people this time. We'll just wait for Harriet. I'm getting really excited to speak to Harriet. I've never met her. I close my eyes. Oh, here we go. Here she is, guys. This is Harriet Watson. So exciting.
Hello.
Harriet, I'm so sorry. My Wi-Fi is terrible. Forgive me.
It's fine.
It's lovely to meet you.
You too. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm a bit like hot today. It's hot in it. You look
I'm just basking in the
lovely.
sun. Thank you. I've put makeup on for the first time in a while, so thank you for that.
Oh, I love that. That's great. So, Harriet, I'm gonna spend a bit longer with you than the other queens because I haven't met you and
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued to find out more about you. So, please tell us like from the start, like where did you train?
So I trained at a college in Nottingham. Um, Trained there for 3 years, but I went to film school first because I thought I wanted to be a film director. Turns
Wow.
out I really didn't. And it was a year-long course, and no offence to any directors or anyone who's looking to do it, it just really was not for me. So I left it a bit early. And then I went training for 3 years. Anyone who's ever been on a live with me before heard me talk about it. When I came out of college, I didn't know where I fitted in the industry, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I was just going through college singing songs that weren't really relevant for me. I wasn't really doing anything that I fitted into a niche. I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. Um, so I spent 6 years going to workshops all the time. So I went to loads of like W1 workshops is my number one that I would recommend for anybody who wants to do this as a job. I went to things like the Growing Studio, mixing networks. Um, but when I graduated, obviously the showcase, and I'll never forget this. It was so hyped up about getting an agent after showcase. Everyone was so excited. And then I remember on the bus home, quite a lot of us didn't get agents. And I remember how gutting that was. And I was like, this is horrendous. Like, this is awful. Like, they put so much pressure on you to get an agent out of college. And then I thought, do I give up or do I keep going? And I thought, no, do you know what? I'm going to keep
Wow.
going. And I'm going to get one on my
Wow.
own. And I worked so hard for so long. And then I went to like an agent panel thing. So for 4 weeks, they like chose your material, found the best thing for you. Did
That's
that and
an
got my agent out
amazing
there.
idea.
Yeah,
That is,
that was
I've
with
never heard of it.
yeah, that was with the Growing Studio. I think he's moved to New York now, but I think they're still running them over here. But yeah, they set you up and they like give you the best material that you can, and then you get put in front of loads of different agents. And it was such a more relaxing experience than doing it at a theatre in London with all your college mates. It's like a competition. It's just so much more
Oh,
chill.
babe, it's awful. And you know what, babe? Like, mine, we had to serve them vol au vents and cocktail sausages. At the end of it, as a laugh, they thought it would be a really good idea that we serve them food. Honey, this is the job I could be doing when I don't get a job. Do you know what I mean? But you know what? Like, I want to ask you something now. And please don't be offended.
No, go on.
But let's talk about, because I think you're an inspiration of you didn't get an agent, and this is inspiring to me. So talk to me about the stigma. I'm making myself
Mhm.
laugh. Talk to me about the stigma about going to a college that isn't one of the top four or
Yeah.
something. I think this is amazing, and I don't believe in top anything. So tell us about
Yeah.
that. How does that make you feel?
Do you know what? When I auditioned for college, I thought I want to be near home. So I didn't even look at London colleges.
Brilliant.
It wasn't even on my radar to think about it. I thought I want to stay near home because I'd moved away when I went to film school. I moved to London, and it was probably the worst year of my life, my mental health. I was scared all the time, and I thought I don't want to put myself through that again. So I'd
Yeah.
rather do it where I'm near home. But
Yeah.
I think people at my college, we had a bit more, not saying people at London colleges don't, but because I think we thought people had that perception of us as we don't go to such a good school. I think we all fought that bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just made
Absolutely.
us all push a bit more.
Yeah, I think that's such a good thing to point out. And as well, there are some schools where in my year I had 40, babe, in GSA. Like
Yeah,
when the agents come, we were overcrowded. And I think if you're a special act within a small year in a small college and you get one incredible agent, then that's
yeah,
all you need. And I
yeah,
think, yeah, I'm not being, I hate these kind of talk show people. I'm not a talk show person, but to be like licking up to someone. But
yeah,
I sucking up, sorry, licking up. But I wanted to say kind of well, a lot of my students say, I want to be in the West End, and and that's fine, but it's about the journey, and it's about knowing that someone like you can make it. And
yeah.
the journey you have gone on isn't the stereotypical I'm going to be in six and I went to uni
No,
to. So great. Like
yeah,
I love that, and I'm so glad I've asked you about that because that
yeah,
means a
of
lot
course.
to me.
I think, do you know what I think about the whole college thing? I think you can go to a college, get your basics down, but you've then got to work your arse off to make yourself the best product that you can be, to put yourself out there. So you go get your basics, get your ballet terminology and get all that kind of stuff and get your confidence and lose your inhibitions. But it's then you doing the work after that I think really counts. Like a
With
lot of
you,
people,
with
yeah.
you, did you feel like you learned so much when you left and you were like, why didn't I know this? Why wasn't I like this at college? Because I'd have got the best of it. Because I just
Yeah,
suddenly had an epiphany that I'm not going to be Fiero. I had an epiphany that I'm not going to be certain things. And once you know what you can give, would you
yeah,
agree with that? That's to me is
100%.
knowing yourself.
Yeah. They almost try and train you up to be lead roles. And realistically, like you say, unless you're that really special talent that comes fresh out of college, because a lot of people in the industry are a bit older. So unless you're going to be an ensemble, you stick thin and you're an incredible tapper, it doesn't really help. So when you get out there and you see all the different other roles that you can do, and that, like, I think, I don't know whether there was a bit of a stigma when I was in college about swings and alternates, but now I think it's the best place to be because we're getting so much more recognised for what we do that
Mm-hmm.
who cares if you're not the lead role?
No, and I think six has really helped that stigma, babe, because there's this whole swing. You did your
Oh, Swingo.
swing girl, yeah, yeah. And I think the fans love the fact there's a queen that's gone on for all queens. I love
Yeah,
that. I think
yeah.
that's a real appeal. So, talk to me about that phone call. I mean, come on now. You got the phone call to get. I mean, what is that like? What's that feeling like?
So, do you know what? I was a bit upset as it was because it was my family holiday, and I thought so. They all went to Ibiza without me, right? I'm sat at home on my own. I was thinking, if I now get this phone call, if I've given up the family holiday to say I haven't got this job, I'm going to be gutted. But my agent rang me the day before my birthday, and she was just like, "Darling, what do you feel about being all six queens?" I was like, "You're taking the piss, excuse my French." I was like, "You're lying, aren't you?" She's like, "No, you're going to be playing all six queens. You're the alternate and you're going on tour." I was like, oh, I was screaming. I was sweating. I ran around screaming. I rang my mum in Ibiza. I was like, "Babe, I'm doing it." And then I flew out to Ibiza the next day to like party up for the weekend. It's just because I've never had a phone call like that before. It's a really weird thing to describe. It's very overwhelming. It was
Is
amazing.
this your big break? Would you say?
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%. I've never done a West End touring show before. The only thing I've done before is actually start that in kids' theatre, going to Rome and doing children's theatre out there. And then I did a fringe show. Do you know who Pauline Quirk is?
Yeah.
So I played her for her show on the Fringe. So
Wow.
that was kind of like a break because obviously it was for Pauline Quirk and it was the writers of Birds of a Feather. So that was a big thing for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
no, this
that's
was like
creating something. That's
yeah,
amazing in itself.
yeah,
I'm honestly like I knew Six. Millie O'Connell's my mate. Her dad is in a band with my dad, and my dad's a singer, and her dad is the guitar and the drummer. So we both are from the Isle of Wight. I've been trying to get hold of her for weeks, babe, but she's not listening. She's lovely. She's done workshops for me before, but she's just blown up in the stratosphere. But which is great. But where I'm coming from is I'm learning so much about Six from you girls, and the fact that the casting is so different. It's not like they don't need someone from Big Brother. They don't need someone with theatre credits. They want a raw woman. They want something. And you, like, again, no, I'm not saying this as a read or a critique. Like, you hadn't had the best incredible CV, but they saw you, they thought you were perfect for it, and that's it. That's what it's down to.
Yeah, it's a lot based on your personality as well, and how you get on with other people in the room, and how you fit in with other people, and if you're going to be compatible. It was very much about like a lineup kind of thing to see if you all work together and all that kind of stuff. So they're very much looking at your personality as well, which I think is a really nice thing.
Did you go into the room and think, no, come on now, this is it? Did you have that feeling? They say I left myself in the room, but you know, did you have that feeling that you were like, come on, Harriet, this is something I can do. This is a job. This is an audition I can do. Yeah.
So I saw it in Edinburgh when I was there 2 years ago, and I remember watching it, and I thought, come on now, if there's one show out there that I could possibly do, then like this is it. But I actually had a private and didn't get the private first of all, and it was me and Maddie against each other to play Boleyn, so the actual role, and obviously Maddie got it. And then I saw the open call 2 weeks later, and I was like, I can't give up. I know I'm meant to be in this show. So I went to the open call with thousands of other people, and then obviously worked my way up through that. But I had to, very much when I'd had auditions before, I doubted myself all the time, but I felt so secure, thinking everything they've asked me to do, I can do. Not being a big head, but it's being sure of yourself and knowing that when you go in, you want to give the best version of you and not be doubting yourself. I just thought, you know what? I can do this job. I'm going to show them that I can do it. And I was just so determined.
You're so right. And it's that feeling you get, like the flutters in your belly. When it's a good audition, actually the auditioning process is one of the most exciting things you experience, and it comes up there with getting on that stage in a really weird way, because it's that feeling of this could change my life.
Yeah, and it has.
So yeah, absolutely. So great. So you're in Six, and how do you find that fandom of kind of the following? How do you enjoy it?
So sorry, there's a bird trying to attack me. So I remember on my Instagram, I had like 400 followers, and then the day we were getting announced, I say this all the time, I was up all night, couldn't sleep, because I knew the announcement was tomorrow. I had a nap at like 9 a.m. for 20 minutes. When I woke up and it had been announced, my social media went crazy. And first of all, obviously I love everyone, but I got very overwhelmed to start with, because I've never had anything like this. And I was like, oh my God, like these people haven't met me. They're going to be expecting me to be amazing. I had people messaging me telling me that we had never met, saying they're proud of me, which was so kind. But I was thinking, oh my God, I've got such a thing to live up to now. What if I'm awful?
Talk to me about, because I'm going through the same thing with my own thing, in terms of like, how do you deal with, like, do you reply to every message, or do you think, I will send a message to everyone and say thank you, or you know, your inbox or your DMs, or how does that work?
See, I'm very much a people person, so I love to reply to people, but there's girls in the cast who don't. People who just don't even look at it, because there's just building up. But I do like to. I know some people might tell me off for doing that, but I just love talking to people. And a lot of people come with some issues and stuff and that kind of stuff. Obviously, we're not advice givers. We can't do that, but it's just trying to offer support where you can, but not in a way that you could potentially get in trouble. But I just love it. I just love speaking to new people. I really enjoy it.
Like me, I just can't be. I'm not. You know, I've made this company from my heart. Literally, and I'm not a businessman, babe. I really am not. And I just want to chat to everyone, and I just want to help somebody have a nice day at a workshop, and that's it. So
Yeah.
I believe that's a lovely trait of yours, and I think that it goes a long way, and it's noticed, I think,
Yeah.
when you're like that. And I think through that, you'll have a good business because you're
Yeah.
kind, I think. So
Yeah.
I think, so what would be next for Harriet, like after 6?
Do you know what I'd really love to be in?
What?
I'd love to be in and Juliet for the choreography. I think it's such an amazing show, and I love commercial dance and hip hop and stuff. I'd love to do and Juliet. I'm happy to do whatever. I'm worried, obviously, the way that theatre's going at the minute. I'd love to do like so my idol's Daisy Cooper from this country. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh
Is
my
that my mum and dad were watching it yesterday? Is it like
Oh,
it's a joke? It's like they're kind of chavvy or something.
it's absolutely hilarious. You need to watch it.
I
But
bet
that
you're
kind
good
of
at comedy.
mockumentary.
Mm.
I think I'm a bit funny, do you know what I mean? But yeah,
Do
that
you know what I mean?
mockumentary, that kind of style, I'd love to do something like that. Yeah, love it.
So
Anything.
the good news is, like, I really think that, you know, it's a bit like being on the Dorothy program or
Yeah.
Nancy program, and I would liken it to that, and I'm serious about that because those girls have done Samantha Bark. So being in 6 is like, oh, 6
Yeah.
hits, bam, it pings
Yeah.
out. And you know, being a swing as well, to say I to say I was a swing for 6 leading ladies, and I went on to be a leading lady, you know, and,
Yeah.
and that's incredible. I didn't personally go on to be a leading lady, you did, but that's amazing. And
Yeah.
they're not easy. They're not easy things to
No.
swing. How is
No.
how is the swing experience?
So like I've never done it before, and everyone knows that if Jen's watching, I always talk about this. Jen Caldwell taught me how to be a good swing because I went into it terrified and I had no idea what I was doing. She taught me every single thing, to swing maps, to vocals, harmonies, all that kind of stuff. She basically taught me everything. And so I'm very thankful to her for doing that. Jen, if you're still watching this, I love you. So for me, it was really scary. But you know, it's once you've done, you just keep going. And then because obviously there's only 6 queens on a stage. If you're looking about and thinking, right, there's a gap, should I be filling it? Right, I'll go into that gap. The harmonies were so hard for me, so hard. Dance was easier because being dance captain, obviously I have to know all 6 tracks, so that was easier. Oh, it's terrifying though. Every time you make a debut, it is terrifying. I've got Howard left. It's terrifying.
So I was a swing for 11 Brothers and Joseph. There was one swing, and that was me. Thank you, Phil Kenwright, babe. Thank you. Standard. And so I'm interested, actually, generally, like, I would love this. I would have this conversation with you, even if we weren't on live. I tried the maps. I did. I tried it. I went home every night, did little stick men, and, you know, wrote everyone, and she stood there, she stands there. And it just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
It just didn't. And I just filmed it all, and that helped me. So I was just constantly like, ooh. But I think do you think it's finding your own way?
100%. I think it's easier with 6 because it all kind of works in patterns. So, you know, if you're Seymour, you're opposite par for most of the show, and it kind of works like that. So it's easier.
Great.
To do it choreographically. But like Cassie, who did the alternate, she did real life pictures and made like a mood board of all the pictures, so that worked for her. Just so happens perfectly that Jen's way worked my way. So I could sit and she'd get it out for me, and I'd look at all the dots right before we're about to go on and plan it in my head, and it was just really easy that way.
So hang on, let me get this straight. So you and Jen both cover all 6 queens of swings?
Yeah, so all 3 of us. So we have our top 2, and then it goes in order who our next covers are, like that. But it was Christmas time when it got mad, and obviously we had to get Maya and Colette in when it was just like, right, guys, you've just got to go on and do it. So yeah, so Jen's done 6, I've done 5. I think Cassie's done 2 of hers so far.
Wow.
Yeah, so we all switch around and do that kind of thing to make it work if anyone's not on.
Did you have any moments like, grew up in the hen, and where the hell am I supposed to go? do you know what I mean? Did you have any of those moments?
It was my first night as Pa. It's my debut for Pa. And I had about 20 minutes notice because Athena, bless her heart, went off ill after the first show. And they were like, right, it's your debut. I was like, oh my God. The lines, I don't know what I said. I think I was supposed to say, just a German girl trying to live the English dream. And I just went, a German girl, Holbein. And that's all I said. And all the girls were sat around like, I don't know what to do.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
It was so embarrassing. But even when I did my Arrogant debut not that long ago, don't know what I said. No idea. Just stood there, and the panic and the sweat started pouring. I just stood there. I was like, what am I supposed to say now? Because she says so much, and she's the beginning of every line in the opening chat that you have to be on the ball. And it just went. I had no idea what I was saying.
Don't you think it's like an absolute out of body experience? Literally, you fit afterwards. You're like, what has just happened?
Oh, I think I blacked out my first show. Couldn't tell you what happened. I think I completely blacked out.
Yeah.
No idea.
How old are you?
27.
27, great. So there's not really, I mean, obviously you can't be 40, but there's not really an age bracket on it. There's not a kind of it's so free. And I was saying to Lauren, and I think I said it to Jen, that I love it that you all get your own costumes. I love it that people have your own thing. And I love that the casting is just so vast. Like, is that fun for you to make your own Anne Boleyn and to make your own Catherine Howard?
Yeah, because I remember when I started, I always remember this, I was sat with Lauren. So when we were in rehearsals, we'd sit next to our first two queens and listen to them do their vocal run-throughs. And I remember sitting there thinking this. Specifically, I remember Lauren singing Heart of Stone, and I sat there and I thought, I need to leave this job right now because her voice is sensational. I remember thinking, I can't copy that. And it was when obviously we then got further into rehearsals and they were like, we don't want you to copy it. We want you to do, so we get our own riffs, we get everything that's our own to do, so we don't have to feel like we have to copy someone. Yeah.
I think something like Hearthstone, Natalie Paris, is that her name? Sorry, her singing is mesmerising, but it was more the journey she took. Well, this sounds a bit stagey, but it was the journey she took me on. By the end, I was like, by the start, I was like, all right, sweetie. And then by the end, I was like, I think that with it, and like Millie O'Connell is not known to be Beyonce or known to be Whitney Houston. She won't mind me saying this, she's a mate. But she's got a character and a likability that she turns it into like some Essex kind of, like, you know, and it works. But so Anne Boleyn is in the West End. She's just got the part. Does she have to do it like Millie O'Connell?
No, we were just told to not, unless it's like specific choreographic bits that you have to stand in, do what you want with it. Wow. Obviously, there's some bits you naturally pick up. So there's some bits. Well, I remember when I first, obviously, when I was first doing Seymour, I was kind of thinking, okay, what would Natalie or Lauren do? I was doing that, and then I just thought, I want to play her a bit goofier. So then I changed it up a bit and made it my own thing.
So what, is, okay, for instance, the goofiness of Boleyn, have you seen it or played it not goofy and it's a bit sexier, or so I'm taking that for instance? Yeah, so
the main thing they always say is to put yourself in it. So I like to be like a bit mischievous and a bit of a div and have a joke. So with my Boleyn specifically, she's very much a jokester and she's naughty and she breaks all the silences with her comic relief and all that kind of stuff. But I got the chance to go out and see it in Broadway when I went before, obviously, this all kicked off. And her Boleyn is completely different to Maddie, completely different. Completely.
Yeah. That's fascinating though. And I think it's so, I've heard that you queens go and watch a lot of other productions of it, and I think that's incredible that you go somewhere else and you're like, wow, you've just turned that character on its head. Yeah. Because you are right, the timings of Anne Boleyn and the dialogue really does enforce that she's a ditzy, but maybe there's room for her to be something else. So it's fascinating. It's really interesting. What would you like to say to the people that are watching today that support you, that have come on? And this is such a weird thing to say, but what's kind of your message with Six, and what's maybe a nice thing about it, or just a nice thing to say?
I miss you all dearly.
Oh,
Sorry that we're not still out on tour. It's breaking my heart. Um, I just think it's really nice that people are still sticking with us, even though we're not doing anything. Like I've been a bit, when I first started out Corona, I was doing like my riddles of the day and all this kind of stuff. And then as time went on, I just needed a break from social media. So I haven't been that heavy on it recently. But it's just nice that people are still there, always messaging, are you okay? And still asking that kind of stuff. And they're still sticking around. It's so nice to think that even when we're done with Six, they'll still be with us because they've followed our journey as people, not because of the show.
that's lovely, and they seem caring, genuinely caring, because
Yeah.
I feel like in theatre a lot of us are misfits or a bit quirky, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's good to be celebrated at the moment, because actually I think the misfits are kind of coming out of their shells a bit at this
Yeah.
time of lockdown. I think that's kind of special. So
Yeah.
thank you
No,
for
thank you.
speaking to me today. And an announcement, well, you all know that Harriet will be doing a workshop. We are working out the date. I think Sophie Tarani, my business partner, knows. I don't know the schedule, so I do, but I don't. We are booking now until September.
Hello.
So, yeah, so it is, but we would love you to do a few, and we would love you to work with us. So
Of
it's
course.
nice because we're working it out, Harriet, that it's more on numbers now. It's not like a Six workshop. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
you're going to do Get Down, or you're going to do whatever you can within the license and the
Yeah.
rights. So we're not, but you know, I think there are a few different workshops we can do with it. Maybe some character Six, which we
Oh,
haven't done.
yes.
And I think you would be really good at that.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do that. I'll do whatever.
We could do a Six swing work. Oh my God, I'm getting ideas live.
Yeah,
Stop
well,
it.
definitely get Jen on for that one. Bloody hell. Yeah.
A Six
Yeah, let's
Jen,
do it.
Six swing. Oh my, and she'll be there like 1 minute for Liam, the next. Oh my God, I've got it.
Let's
Honestly,
do it.
it's been nice. It's like talking to a friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
No, and I'm so sorry about yesterday. It's all been a bit mental,
Fine.
but you are so inspiring, and I love
Thank
your
you.
story.
Thank you. Just for anyone out there who thinks they can't get into the top drama school, there's many different ways to go about it, so do not worry.
We didn't finish that chat, and I just want to say, yeah, I want to kind of I want to relay that I think it doesn't mean a thing, and I think it's what
Oh.
you put in and the hard work that you put in. I want to emphasize that, and I think you are credit to that, and I
Thank
believe
you.
GSA wasn't the making of me; it was what I did with it.
Yeah,
And I know
definitely.
people that haven't had the same, but my advice to anyone, and I think you'll agree, and you are props to this, it's persisting.
Yeah. Don't give up. What's the point? You've wasted your money then. Keep going.
Exactly. I love that. You know, just simply put it, you're going to waste your money, babes. You really
Yeah.
are. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's been lovely speaking to you.
Thank you, babe.
And we will announce your workshop very soon.
Of course. Go and enjoy the sun.
Oh, I will. Top up the sun. You too. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.